Right guys, good morning to you. This is the first episode in a new series that I'm running on the channel called Show and Tell. And I never did this at school, but I think in America it's quite a big thing where kids bring pets or parents or whatever it may be in to show and tell them at school. But I thought, look, we should do that for watches. It's never been done to my knowledge, and if it has, please let me know below. And I've brought three great friends of mine along from different realms of the watch world to show and tell two watches. And we're going to draw this out for as long as we can and get your feedback. So part one is going to be dress watches. Part two is going to be sports watches. The real kicker is that they're all from our personal collections. Mr. Tim Green from Subdial. Hello. Mr. Andrew McUtchen from Time and Tides. Mr. Russel Sheldrake from Time and Tides. What's the word? A veteran writer of the watch world.
Who's in his 20s, by the way.
The man's been at SJX, he's been at A Collected Man, he's been at the Gents Journal, and I've known Russ for many, many years. And guys, let's not forget where we are. Where are we today, Andrew?
We're in the London Time and Tide Watch Discovery Studio. It is only week 2 of our existence. Jeez. We've already had Justin rocketing through with illicit substances flying everywhere, as alleged in the comments. No, it is week 2, but it's a pleasure. This is our first proper shoot in here. Actually.
Correct. Yeah. Guys, we've literally hijacked the space, and Andrew and the team have been very kind to allow us in. And as you know, Tim and I have been recording for a few weeks now, and it's a new space. Wrist checks, boys, before we get into this. Tim, what are you wearing?
I've got a Tudor Sub 9411. It's a birth year watch, and it's about as broken as I feel, and it sort of reminds me that...
Come on, reveal the year, Tim.
It's 1981. Yeah, I look at it, but it's still running, and that gives me some hope, so that's mine.
Ghost bezel on there, and the dial is pumpkiny and speckly. What's been going on here? Is this because someone's been diving with this? And
Absolutely, yeah. This has been to the bottom of the ocean. It's
probably not the one that was found in Oz at the bottom of...
No, God knows. It's had a life, and I don't know what it is, the history of the watch, but it's brilliant. You know, I look at it, and there's something new about it each day, probably because some of the patina's sort of falling off and sort of rattling around, but I love it. I really love it.
Now the thing is, guys, we're going to call the shit here, right? We're going to be straight down the line with you. If there's anything that needs to be called out, we're going to call it out. Tim is a watch lover primarily, but a dealer as well at Subdial. So you never know what the man actually owns. I don't even know. I speak to this man at any hour of the day, every hour of the day, more than I speak to my goddamn wife or mother. And I don't know what the hell this guy owns. And so to see this watch on his wrist and know that you own it, because I've seen you wearing it a lot, but I didn't know you still had it. So fantastic news. Tudor Submariner.
Yes.
Much more interesting than the Rolex Submariner as well.
I think
fair
so.
to say.
Yeah.
Andrew, what do you got on?
I just want to pick up on that note, because when this plan was hatched, like this egg right in front of me, I did have a provision and a caveat. Tim, no inventory from Subdial. I want clear delineation of what you've put your own money into, skin of the game, versus this delicious, like the Subdial email that drops on a Thursday at 11 a.m. As Tim catches I love the catch. Anyway,
a young Ricky Ponting.
He's a better slips catch than you, that's for sure. But when this email drops, I stop whatever I'm doing and I just get a little tray and drool into it as all of these watches come up. But if you've done a Swifty on us, if you're pulling the cherries and the eyes out of Subdial stock, I'll be very disappointed.
Just say you're not out of the woods either, sir, because you are surrounded here by some of the inventory that you now own. You will be pulled up as well if there's anything suspicious, and people smell a rat. They smell a rat these days from a mile off.
Yeah. Start sniffing, because here comes a rat. No, I do have a rat, but it's not what you expect.
Oh no, the first thing you looks at is a Studio Underdog.
It is a Studio Underdog. But I've got a little story to tell on this. This is not available, ever. This is a warm cookies and milk edition that Richard, and I would say, and I, worked on for the Google Watch Club. And these are the sort of things that happen off-piste that don't ever make the website with Russell. No. They don't make my social channels, and they're not something that Richard communicates about, which is, for a brand like Studio Underdog, you'd think he'd have his hands full, like fulfilling all these orders. But he does these little side projects that make him no money, because this is one of 150. And Jim Travis from Google contacted me and said, hey, could you connect me with Richard? I've got an idea for a watch. And he went to the entire...
Today we're here at Sotheby's Australia.
Are we? Felix, welcome to the chat.
Look at that. It's been assembled over a long time.
This is going to be an edit point. Oh my God.
Unlike other collections...
Who am I firing, Alex?
Who's on the chopping block for this?
Where is he? Is he in New South Wales?
This
That's
is
in Sydney.
Crowe
yeah,
auction.
Sotheby's Sydney. Yeah. Oh, is that in frame? Is that no? It won't be in either frame. Good. I totally broke my flow.
Good. He got in touch with you and asked you to make the watch.
Oh yes. So, are we still rolling? Okay. Back in. Jim got in touch with me and said, "Can you connect me with Richard?" We had a couple of Zoom calls, and then, in order to make the best possible watch for the Google Watch Club, he went out to all of its members, and there are many, many members in the Google Watch Club. And they had a poll, a live poll, which I was privy to, because they're testing, when you go on a Zoom call with Google, they have all of these widgets and apps and things that they're testing that you've never seen before, and they had a live app technology. It was quite crazy. This is still not available, but they were doing a live voting thing, and the question was, what food best represents Google? And the food that rose to the top of this poll pile was warm cookies and milk. So the mission was put to Richard, can you make a watch that looks like warm cookies and milk? This is one of the 150, and it has a little time and tide anchor on the back to recognise that we got the two parties together. So it's not available in the store, but Studio Underdog is. So smell a rat. Here's the rat. I'm coming at you. No more shilling. I'm done.
Fantastic. By the way, they also did an RWC over the years. They've done other watches, haven't they?
Oh, many.
They've done many.
Yeah, they did.
I've only ever
They
seen
put the
RWC
little
as well.
at sign as their tell.
that's
So on the back of this, you will see a little at logo. Watches at, I think, is the little logo. They did that blacked out Mark 12
with
maybe?
at, at 6 o'clock. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So
Is
they're
there Tudor as well?
I was going to think, I thought there was a Black Bay.
yeah.
I think
so
so.
they've got a stealth little thing happening, and they're doing these little side projects without ever reaching the surface. But it was an absolute joy to be part of this, and I just wore this to show that Underdog really has a lot of other things happening. He's doing design work for brands that no one knows about. So this is a mysterious figure.
Yeah.
Russell,
Yes. Well,
what did you whip on this morning, sir?
as a sort of resident Londoner,
Yes.
I have to wear my sort of London Safe watch.
Oh.
So this is my
A non-compete.
Yes. This is my sort of go-to whenever I'm going to a watch meet and I know I can't reach the level of the watch meet because I'm a journalist. I have been my whole life. I haven't been paid as well as most watch collectors have. So I whip this out because I know no one else has got this. This is a Swatch Spot Flash from 1991, 1992. I got it from the original owner back in 2021. Original strap, original box, everything was sort of pristine. But unfortunately, as sort of many vintage Swatch owners like you, Justin, will know, those original straps do not last. No. I think I wore it about 3 times,
like
and it
biscuits,
started.
they just
Yeah,
crack.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I was very lucky. I got to take it down to the Swatch store in Covent Garden, and walked in there. I had my Black Bow Patek tote bag on me, and the guy was like, "You must know watches." I know that bag. And I was like, I kind of do. I introduced myself, said what I did. And I
Do you want to get mugged? Was that the intention
Yes.
of carrying the Patek tote bag?
Well, no, it's
like
a
little sign over
it's
the
a
top
Calatrava
going,
on one side and a Calibre on the other. No clue what it is. It's completely incognito. The Cubus is inside. Even less reason to steal it.
Can you imagine the disappointment of the mugger that sees the tote bag and goes, I'm going all in. And he's like, a Swatch, dude.
But I had
had
seen the advert. You've got to get to Instagram.
Oh,
and
my
watch the
goodness.
Patek Cubitus advert. I was seething at it last night. But that is a side note.
Yeah,
Russ, fantastic
I've
watch.
just gone in and published a guide on vintage design swatches at my old job at A Collected Man, and the manager of the store had just read it, and he knew my name, and he was like, "I will sort you out, mate." And so he got me the exact match on the strap texture.
And is it true you can change your battery in there for free? Indefinitely. I think it's.
I believe you can. Yeah, if your name's Russell Sheldrake, you can.
Oh, wow.
And he asked for a selfie at the end and an autograph on his chest. Popped out the chest for you. Right. Cheers, boys. Oh shit! Sorry, I forgot. Jesus.
Wow.
Sorry, I bought this because Andrew
Okay.
McUtchen next to me here has always suggested he's been in love with this watch. It's the FP Journe Elegante on an orange, butter
Triggered.
soft orange.
I feel provoked.
But I told you last night I was going to bring the heat that I'm able to bring. And
He
this
was
is a
talking tough
titanium.
in the WhatsApp chat. The chat
Yeah, oh,
started
yeah.
to get a little
Oh, yeah.
fiery.
We also got England-Australia this weekend in rugby, but that's a side note. Titanium case, white dial. For me, this is the most classic of the variations they've ever made. You can get it in Titanite in a black case, but to me, this is it. And I've got to say, in titanium, it might just be the easiest watch to wear. One of the most easy sports watches.
I
and
wondered if
summer
this
watches.
may not appear in your sports watch category. But
I was
obviously not.
umming about
Okay,
it.
well
I
that
was
rules
umming
it out. Now
it's out.
it's
It's
less
out.
about less about the fact that you're wearing it. It's more about the fact that this isn't where I thought it would be in this competition. Interesting.
I've gone for something that's got a bit more depth to it. This is incredibly wearable and very cool, I think. But the one I've gone for is a bit more.
I would have eviscerated you on water resistance anyway, so you know.
Screw down crown. Anyway, it's a screw down crown. Listen, so guys, part 1 and part 2. So part 1 that we're doing right now is going to be dress watches. Andrew, because it's your space, let's open up with you. What have you brought with in this egg?
Okay, well, I brought the box here because I saw this. I did see this on the shelf. So if you're smelling a rat, there is another rat because this is available at Time and Tide. This is the Maximilian Mertens AIS, like ostrich egg. Should we just get into it? I feel like there should have been a drum roll or something. But
It's fine.
my dress watch is going to look fairly familiar to Tim. Is this the only watch I bought from you? I think it is.
No. There was a cheeky little...
oh yes, little side hustle, which was a similar shape and similar material.
Yeah.
So this is the second watch I bought off Tim, but this is a Cartier tank, Louis Cartier, in rose gold with an animated dial. Now I didn't bring this for the reason that you guys might expect. I want to switch this mode to therapy mode now. I want to switch this to counselling mode. I bought this watch thinking it would uncover an entire or begin a whole new chapter for me of growing up and wearing dress watches like grown men. I can't get right with it.
Really?
No, I can't. I love it, and I have to say, this, you know, there's criteria as watch people. We just constantly get stopped on the street and asked, what are you wearing and what have you bought and what do you like? And this is just a constant dialogue in my life with the world. And this watch is potentially the most complimented and most impactful watch that I wear. I then explain that if you tilt the dial, the animation changes.
It's always good when you're going to explain it.
That's true. But no, it does a lot of talking for you because it doesn't need to be spoken about. It's absolutely beautiful. But Tim, I can't get right with it. And my wife had the sickest burn when I brought this one home. Like, you know how your wife, your partner, your spouse, whoever they may be, whoever's not into watches in your life that you have to justify your spending patterns to, that's a broad, but let's keep it broad. But I got home and she said, oh, that's nice, a little small for me, but I'm happy that it makes you happy.
She said it's a little bit small for her.
For her. She has like a 4-inch wrist. Wow. So, no, that's not the reason. It's on a beautiful moleskin strap. I just haven't found this in rotation, perhaps because of what I wear. I can admire it objectively. I still am happy that I bought it, but I need some counselling on making that step to somebody that wears tiny dress watches, because while...
That's not tiny. You wait till you see mine.
Oh my God. That actually sounds like a locker room talk. Exactly.
There's the hot start. There's the hot start.
I thought we're talking watches here, gents.
Sorry.
So I want to put this over to the audience because it is... I have seen this in pictures and I have thought, just relax, man, it looks fine.
It suits you.
But
honestly, it suits you.
I absolutely love this watch with my right brain, but my left brain can't get involved. Do you relate? I'm asking you as well in the audience. Help me out here. Should I hold? Should I flip? Am I done? I mean...
No, hold.
You fight through that.
I don't want to jump
You did sell it to me, so you're part of our...
Cartier's
we're invested in this together.
Yeah, we are, yeah. And that is a lovely icon of Cartier, of any dress watch, but it's got that contemporary dial on it. And so I think it's kind of got that best of both worlds. Yeah. I really, really love that. The size of it's perfect.
Oh, yes.
Oh, so elegant.
Voluptuous buckle. And again, straight away off there was a grey croc strap. Awful.
No,
absolutely awful. This is like a beautiful cinnamony moleskin strap. Again,
Brands still haven't got it right, have they? They just
Why do they release on these chintzy sort of croc straps?
Can I suggest that this might be a watch that you don't wear formally? This might be a watch that if you were to pair it with what you normally wear, which is more casual stuff, you might find that actually it works nicely. With that confidence of, hey,
I'm feeling the feelings again as I put it on. And look, I've had to get it out of the safe. And this is a part of our lives in London that I'm also not right with. I feel cantankerous about the fact that it took me a 40-minute process to go and tap my card, fingerprint doors. I felt like I was going into an atomic facility. It's the first time I've been back into the bank to get a watch out, and I absolutely hated the experience.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
That perhaps it's not the
Sell
watch.
it back to you? Sure, absolutely.
Perhaps it's not the watch. Perhaps it's everything else.
It's me.
Yeah, let's wear a suit. Let's wear a shirt for once.
Oh, okay. That's one way to deal with it. I suppose it could just be back to my dress code. No, well, I don't wear hoodies every day.
Go down to
but-
Drake's,
Yeah.
get yourself kitted
Wow,
out,
Dad has spoken.
and then put the watch on, and it'll just go.
So I've got contrasting advice. You're saying dress up to meet the watch. You're saying just put the watch in your mix.
Can I just say though, I've been exactly where you've been, and I've spoken to him about this a lot because he's got that conviction to go small. Personally, I think it's a size thing for me. I feel exposed.
Could you
when the
do
watch
it?
is too
Could
small.
you do a watch this small?
I feel exposed when the watch is small.
But it does
And
make you look even bigger. If you wore this with your arms,
it's a bit like a shaved head. It makes you feel, it makes you look a bit bigger, or shaved legs as well. You know, the cyclists know if you shave your legs, the legs look bigger. But no, I think it's for me, it's that sense of being exposed. Now,
See, that does look good.
It looks amazing.
it looks amazing, right?
And you know what? Have you guys met our Italian stallion, Pietro Pia, who's one of our team? He is a monster of a man, a rugby player like you, big, broad wrist. The contrast, it's a bit like a Panerai on a woman. This watch on a fairly macho man. It amplifies the masculinity. I'm not sure it works that way for me.
Are we asking too much? You know, sometimes we ask too much of our partners or our employers. They need to be everything to us. Does this watch need to be everything to you all of the time? And the answer is no.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That watch can come out and you can enjoy it for what it is when you want to, not the whole time. That's where I've got to. And I've sold stuff to Tim over the years that's felt too small for me. And anyway, there we go.
Well, Russell, any final comments? Because you
sent me the link to this
I did.
watch.
I'm responsible.
I met you
Yeah.
because of you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
it's just, you're welcome.
Where did it
I'll
start?
invoice
What-
the commission.
Was it
later.
Pietro's watch? He has the platinum. He
So
has the platinum
he's got
version
the
with the blue
platinum
dot.
one.
Yeah,
he
that's
does.
lovely.
He does.
Is that where it started? Because you said, "Oh, hey, if you're looking for one, I found one, but it's gold. It's yellow. It's rose gold."
Yeah, well, I think I'd only just started working for you at the time, and I sort of figured out that you had a bit of an itch that you needed to scratch because you'd never explored this style of watch before.
Yeah, true.
Not in sort of in a meaningful sense, anyway. You've had it now for 8-9 months.
It's only had 8-9 wears.
Has it?
Yeah. To me, if it's not, because you've had a full year of use, let's say now. If you haven't got the enjoyment out of it and you haven't found the reason to wear it yet, I don't think you will. You've got a Marie Kondo.
This is a perfect moment for the audience. 2 votes for hold it, wear it more. Well, 1 vote from Dad, who says, "Son, why don't you
Go buy suits.
get out of a hoodie and try it on, you moron."
We'll go buy a suit together.
Yeah.
You can wear the watch.
Wow.
It'll
this
be
is-
Andrew 2.0.
Okay, so that's Tim, and then you're saying hold it, try it with other things.
I'm saying hold it.
Russell's saying flip it. What's the call? Let's get brutal. That's me done. I've got a lot to think about.
Thank you, Andrew. That's very kind of you. Ross, what have you bought with you dress-wise?
What I brought with me dress-wise. Let's have a look in here. So, I think you both know what this watch is going to be already. You've got no idea.
No.
It's Trump's lips.
It is not Trump's lip. How dare you?
Has Trump got no lips?
Yeah.
Wow.
He has.
So this is my Universal Geneve gilt shadow.
It's not the new model that came out this year on the bracelet because Patek did do a new bracelet.
They
for the
did,
Ellipse, right?
and when
For
they
the big
brought that
model,
out,
for the
I
big gold.
bought that a month before, and when Patek brought that out, I was cheering.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
Oh, that's been on my watch list for a long time. That
Yeah.
watch. You get them in
I've been
steel quite a
yeah,
lot.
so I've been looking
name. That's a great name.
for the white shadow,
Yeah.
which is the steel one
Yeah.
with a blue dial for a very long time, and then this one came up for sale at Kibble Watches.
No way.
James Kibble
Yeah.
had this on his site, and it came up in his sort of like coming to the site soon, drops on his Instagram stories. Messaged him straight away, and I was like, James, I need it. I'm still looking for the steel and blue, James, but I love this. I need to come in. I need to try it on now. And he's like, yep, come in. We had like an hour-long chat, and I was torn between buying that or waiting for the steel and blue because I could never get a steel and blue at the price I thought it was really worth. They were always charging a little bit more. But this one was there for, it was like 1,200. And it's 1970s. It was the thinnest automatic watch when it was released. So it's got the in-house UG 266 caliber inside, micro rotor, beautiful movement.
Can we talk about the value it represents? Because I feel
Insane
when you
value.
told me the price, I was
Yeah.
just like, what?
I know, really, really
Share.
good. And so, I know. I bought it when after UG had been bought by Breitling, so I knew that there was going to be more interest. But I have not bought this as an investment piece. This is not something that I am willing to part ways with. This is my dress watch to take forever. Now, whether it was a smart decision to have a plated wristwatch to have forever, I don't know. I'll find out in 10 years' time. But the details that you have on this, when you get it in the right lights, which I'm hoping we're showing now, the brushing, the vertical brushing on the dial really catches it. And it knocks me for 6.
Put it on the wrist.
Every
Let's see it
single
in-
time.
Let's see it in the context.
That's beautiful, man.
Thank you, yeah.
You've
so
got the double whammy. You've got the interest of Universal Geneve right now, and
Yeah.
you've got the ellipse, which people have been getting behind for the last years, but it feels like
They
it's
really
still
have.
got a...
Absolutely
And
right.
this is the size that everybody wants, because let's
This
be
is.
honest, the size that Patek make right now is too big.
Yeah.
It's just not right.
Yeah.
And
I've
I think
discussed that for
and a shape
years.
like that, when it's too big, it's a bit like the Aquanaut. When they're too big, that suddenly just
right.
loses all of its
All
mojo.
proportions,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ross, can I say you wear it well, sir?
Thank
wear
you
it
very
well
much,
and with
yeah.
confidence, and it suits you because of it.
And so that's the thing, I love it. And it sort of goes with kind
most
of
you
everything
watch
I
you own,
wear.
for sure.
Because I dress this down. I wore this in last week with sort of jumper, jeans, and it was killer. And then I'll wear it with a suit whenever the suit comes out. You know, this was what I wore to my brother's wedding earlier this year.
Yeah.
So nice.
Brilliant.
So yeah,
Annoyingly good.
I'm in
Annoyingly
love
good.
with this watch.
Yeah.
And I should have said, guys, please in the comments below, because this is round 1, part 1 for dress. Please let us know who takes the biscuit down below and why you like it. Thanks, Ross. Tim Boy, what have you bought with us? And you've mentioned it's small, so we're all prepped and ready to feel very sorry for you.
But back to watches.
We're all prepped. And
Should I grab a loop?
Oh, hello there.
Yeah, okay.
We are on here.
Gosh, I'm in the way, aren't I? So this is a Cartier, of course. It's a tank. Not a tank Louis, it's a tank normal. And this is from the 70s. It's a 23 mil case size by 30. And I like it because it's the original tank format. This is the first tank, inspired by the first tank they brought out in 1917. And if I just put it on wrist, I think it is completely timeless. I mean, for all the reasons you say you're unsure about yours, I'd argue that...
I can see you just boiling like a kettle. Like you just.
It upset me quite a lot. It upset me quite a lot.
Look, he's going to blow Justin.
I don't know. It just speaks for itself. It's just
I mean,
wonderful.
I
It's
feel
so
attracted
thin.
to you looking at that on wrist. So I
I
just
get
need
it.
to.
I
just
get it.
highlight-
All the
what does your
time.
wife make of it, just out of interest?
Yes.
Well, this watch?
Yeah.
Well-
When she sees you in it, does it get her...
Well,
Sorry.
are you asking, is it my date night watch?
Well, I can
mean,
tell you that
gosh,
my
she's
wife is not attracted to you in that. Nor me. Yeah.
No,
Not that it should matter. Well, does it matter? I mean,
it doesn't matter to me. I don't think so.
No. Has she commented on it? Because I find this is interesting. This is a really big subject.
She's used to me wearing small Cartier
unusual things.
and small Pateks as well. I mean, we were talking about my latest acquisition, which was the Ellipse in yellow gold. It's the 35, 40, super, super small. I almost wore it.
Regular numerals applied.
We are in furious agreement at this table.
Here we are. It's great.
We've got tuners to come. We've got ellipses here. We've got Cartier
Not
coming
gonna
out.
pre-talk.
for our
I just adore this thing. I love the crown, the octagonal crown. Sapphire cabochon, domed glass, and a lacquer dial with a Paris signature, which is nice. And
All the things.
And so many of these watches haven't really survived
Eloquent strap again.
the 50
Yeah.
years
And that's
since
a theme, huh?
manufacture.
That's a theme.
Yeah.
Well, hold tight,
Without
wait for it. I've got
cracking.
something to show you in a second as well.
They're all, so many of them are spider dials,
Yeah.
inverted commas. But that one's, it's
Just a
so
bit of
good.
aging at the bottom, which is
Little
really
bit of
nice to
aging.
see.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you like vintage, Tim Boy? If you look at these two you've come out with us
I?
so far,
No,
you like
well,
a vintage.
wait
You
till
like a
the
bit of
next
Wabi
one.
Sabi. You like a bit of Wabi Sabi as well.
I suppose.
So mine suddenly feels, for the first time in its life, like it has some stature and physique. No, am I right in thinking that on a recent piece of social media content, probably with this chap, you outed yourself as Cartier as your favourite brand?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And when the text message went around about what we're going to talk about today and dress watches, I automatically thought it's got to be a Patek, right? You've got to have a Patek and a Rolex. But the more I thought about it, if there was one watch out of all categories, it would be a Cartier tank. If that's house is on fire, run back and get one thing. That would be it for me. I adore it.
So it doesn't surprise you. Last comment on Cartier is the resurgence of Cartier, that they've reclaimed the #2 spot. They're not showing any. They're the only double-digit growth brand in the game at the moment. There's no one close to them in terms of their resilience through this downturn. Doesn't surprise you?
No, not at all. I mean, they've got so many iconic shapes in their catalogue that they've just made over the years. I've been a fan of Cartier for 20 years, and I still, every month, there's a new Cartier that I've never seen before that comes up for auction. The domino, the bamboo, whatever. All of these things.
Thanks, Mike Nouveau.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's a fantastic brand, and I think for all the reasons that, like the cubitus, I'm going to go into cubitus again because I'm still not over it. Like that's just taking another watch in their catalogue and tweaking it, making it worse. Cartier don't do that because they've got so many bloody, iconic shapes. The cloche, the centre, the crash, like it just goes on and on. And for me, it's not the first watch that they made. That's the Santos Dumont, but this is the first tank, and I adore it.
Top man. Right.
There we go.
Guys, we've got 5 minutes for me just to deliver my first punch of the
First
evening.
death blow.
First shot. My big right.
Okay, everyone's braced.
And talk about presence on the wrist. And it's a watch that, honestly, where did it start? It was a moment that I had with a very important family friend of mine, an uncle figure, and a man of style, a man of elegance. And he walked into the Vacheron boutique and he pointed, I'll never forget, he pointed at this watch and he said, "Wow, my God, that's an elegant watch." And I was sort of hooked on that forever. And so I had to bring this, the 1921 from Vacheron Constantin. Originally 1920, I think they made it. And very, very small. Maybe, Tim, you would have got away with the original, but I certainly wouldn't. They only made very few.
I've got the original, actually. I'll bring it one time. It's not actually working.
Oh, is it not?
No.
Bloody hell. Sorry, I thought you were going to have the Brinks van coming out with it.
No.
Because
It's tiny. I say tiny. It's my size.
It's tiny. Anyway, so this model I just love because it's just so beautiful. I mean, I don't really know what to say. It's got a dial that I think's been made at FP Journe. I've been told has been made at the FP Journe facility. The yellow gold has been retired subsequent to me buying it in 2021. It's got the 4400 caliber in the back, which I think Kari Voutilainen famously said was sort of the nicest and easiest watch to work on from a modern manufacturer, hand wound. And it's just so interesting. It's the watch that you wear and always get comments on. I wore it to get married in, and also for the birth of my one and only child. I was wearing it, so it is probably the one. Tim will have a chuckle because I'm pretty open to selling almost anything, but I don't think I could sell this one. This would be the only one I wouldn't sell. 40 mil, but wears an awful lot bigger because of the case. Subdial has this sort of snailing going on, and it's just a beautiful contrasted dial. Again, a Molcoin strap, and there you go.
I do love that there's only one hole in the strap.
One hole, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, that's a flex, quiet flex, and that's from.
Yeah.
Do you wear it on the inside of your wrist?
No.
That's how it's designed, right?
Like that. Got to be at the pulpit reading your sermon.
Exactly.
Your sermon.
Lots of people think it's a driver's watch, and I think it works like that. You know, if you're in the steering wheel and you've got your watch there, but it was originally designed for a vicar, a priest.
And this is probably the watch I think of when I think of Vacheron. I've spoken to a lot of people about it over the years, but this sort of sums up all the different elements of classic with a twist. And I'm not in the Vacheron marketing department, but I like that tagline because that's what Vacheron actually is.
I have to say that the wear of this, if you haven't ever worn a 1921 and you have opinions about it, your opinions are invalid. You need to go and try this watch on the wrist. It just sits so flat, and because of the precious metal, that extra bit of gravity, it just holds.
It feels like quality on the wrist, doesn't it?
But I have a story. I'm so pleased about this development. I have a story that's going to horrify Justin Hast. Do you know what I'm going to say?
Oh no.
The Vacheron boutique manager came into this space last week and told me about your purchase experience with this watch. So I'm about to expose that Justin paid full price for this watch.
Yes.
I was absolutely horrified And I would not let it rest. Remember, I was
have
just
a
like,
feeling
hang on,
there's
no.
someone else who was horrified the fact that you paid full prices.
My dear wife was horrified on the day. I literally went 2 days before the wedding to buy it by myself.
Because you didn't do any of the cards, none of the, don't you know who I am, can I show you my biceps, none of the usual cards.
Justin walked in as a customer, and it begged belief to a point where I kept saying to the guy, just stop it. Can we just start the truth telling now? I know that you're protecting Justin's reputation. We all have our cards. And it just made me reflect on what a person I am, because I haven't. You never done that. It's silly when you walk into a boutique and Justin would have walked in and known. They would have known who he was. But that is, to me, that adds a layer of extra credibility to this choice, because you wanted this, obviously in a real hurry.
This was a watch that you were destined to have, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Again, annoyingly good. So, I mean, Justin, I guess is it back to the audience now? We have our weapons chosen.
Yeah, thank you as always for joining us, and my God, we want to hear from you. Up next is part 2. Cheers, guys.
All right, let's go.